This is Kelvin, aka KG.codes. Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about how I became a software developer. To me, it's an interesting story because I didn't start out that way. I didn't grow up thinking that's what I would be. It definitely happened with a little bit of preparation, my skill set and mind, and definitely a lot of God. Yeah, so I'll get started. Basically, when I was younger, I was always kind of into tech and computers. When I was young, my dad brought home a Windows 95 PC. I don't even know what the brand was of the PC, but had Windows 95 on it. I remember that. Me and my brother used to play video games on it. A little more due diligence to try to install the games on the computer. So I really learned about computers then. So thanks to my dad for buying that computer, because it definitely started me off on a journey and kind of got me interested. Still didn't know anything about programming, didn't even know it was something you could do in life, but I just continued on and just kind of had that in my mind that I liked technology. And so from then on, I just kind of grew up, of course, got older, went to high school, and there they had a web design class. This teacher named Miss Glisson used to teach this web design class just out of my interest of computers and just wanting to be able to build a website. And it wasn't like a true coding class, but it was a web design class. So we learned about HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I like what she did with the class. We used Dreamweaver, but we also learned how to do everything we did in Dreamweaver in code, HTML templating and CSS and Java. Just really like JavaScript. I think we barely touched on JavaScript, so we didn't do any deep programming as far as like operations or loops or if statements or anything. Like, we didn't do anything deep with JavaScript, but it definitely was a good foundation for like wanting to get into programming. Just that level of creation we had to just be able to build your own website, especially back then. This is like 05, 06. I was young, and the internet wasn't what it is now, and so it was pretty cool doing that back then. But even still, I was in high school and preparing for college. I wasn't thinking at all like I was going to be a programmer. In high school, I was working on a lot of AutoCAD and doing CAD design, so I thought that's what I'd be doing, or some sort of engineering, some mechanical engineering. So when I went to Mercer University here in Georgia, I started majoring in mechanical engineering. That's what I started with, and enjoyed it a little bit. A lot of my friends was doing it as I was growing up. Basically, the main things you got taught to be was a doctor, a lawyer, or like an engineer. Like, it was like 10, maybe, I don't know, like 10 jobs that even were at the top of your mind to be. I went to school for mechanical engineering. Started Mercer like that and started taking some classes. Enjoyed it the first year, but after a while we started taking physics classes, and we started doing all this theoretical physics, and started to get deeper into mechanical stuff, and it just wasn't interesting to me. I did okay. Physics kind of kicked my butt, but I was doing all right. I was doing as good as anybody else, but I just wasn't interested in it. So I switched to computer engineering, strictly off the fact that it had computer in the name. Like, that was the only reason. Like, just thinking that it'd be a little bit more interesting engineering for me if it had computers, something about computers. So I just switched to it purely off that. No research, nothing. Just, purely off the fact that it had computers in the name. And I guess that's just how God works, because I ended up taking a bunch of programming classes in the curriculum for computer engineering. Although it was more geared toward, I guess it was geared towards software, but it was kind of leaning toward hardware too. But I got a chance to do a lot of computer programming. I went to the computer science building to take those classes. And once I got to that building, which I didn't even know was at the school, I didn't even know computer science was, I didn't even know what to call the major or the line of work that was developing software. I didn't know the major was computer science. I didn't even know there was a computer science building at the school. But once I went there for those classes, it was just a blessing, because then I fell in love with it. I figured out what I wanted to do based off that. So immediately I just switched to computer science as a full-time major. I was like, if I'm doing computer engineering and I like the computer science, but I like the program, I like the creating, software, but I hate the engineering part, then I just switch over to computer science completely. So I switched over to it, and the rest was history. But one thing I always think about, look back on about the whole thing, is that I never got taught, like, I remember career days when I was in elementary school, that there's never any programmers coming to the school. I never even heard about that as an occupation. I never met a programmer. I had no family members that was doing it. Barely had anybody really in technical positions that to look up to or to even point me in that direction. So it just never even was an option in my life of something I could do or prepare for. So it's exciting now to hear that kids are, in elementary school, as young as elementary school, getting into coding early stages and knowing that's an option and knowing that's something they can make a career out of, and a really good career out of, a lucrative career out of. It's a very good option, but it's one thing I do wish that I could have started way earlier. But I think everything worked out how it should have for me personally. I found my way, through an interesting path, but it's a constant learning. Programming, you never stop learning. You never should stop learning. And I just keep going. But I just wanted to share my story about how I got to it and how it's not too late to get into it. Even if I'm 30, but even if you're older than that, it's never too late to get into it, or follow anything that you're trying to do. So I appreciate you checking out this video and hearing my story. If you liked what you saw, please follow the channel. Please hit the notification bell to subscribe. Connect with me in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know about your career, how you found out what you were doing. And connect with me on all social platforms. Just find me, KG.codes. Find me, connect with me. I'll follow back and check you out and DM me with this talk about software. Talk about anything you need to get done programming wise. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.